Hi Ankita. Inform to your friends, ma. Ankita, yes, okay. You inform to call to your friends immediately. The class will be started. The live should be started. Okay. Akila, okay. Good morning, ma. Good morning, Akila. Okay, Radhika. Okay, good morning, Radhika. Good morning, Sushpita. Okay, nice. Inform to your friends very fast. Today, we are going to discussing about inform to your friends, please. Okay. So, good morning, my dear legendary students and my dear YouTubers. Today we are going to discussing about new topic that is very important for B.sc level, M.sc level, and NEET level, and other competitive level. It will be very useful for the competitive exams. Okay. Good morning, Vicky, Vikas. Okay. Good morning, ma. Thank you for coming to this online classes. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about new topic that is the topic will come very interesting, very important questions will come definitely in examination for NEET level, for CSIR-NET level, for M.sc entrance level, for semester B.sc level. Okay. So may audible visible? May audible visible? You must be type S in the chat box. Vikas, Sushmita, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Ankita, thank you, Vikas, thank you, Akila, thank you very much. Thank you, Radhika. Okay, okay, thank you. So this is important about topic. That is the topic is Sushmita. Yes, okay. The topic is control of respiration. Padma, control of respiration. Control of respiration. Okay, this is important. Padma, control of respiration topic. Okay, what is control of respiration? Okay, so the respiration, you know very well. Control of respiration means what? What is mean by respiration? So today we are going to discussing about before the control of respiration. So this is KRISHNA, HOD of Zoology, Sri Vasavadi Degree College. Okay, an entrepreneur. And today topic is control of respiration. What is control of respiration? Okay, see, actually, you know very well, control of the respiration should be controlled by. The respiration should be controlled by in human beings. How? The respiration should be controlled by, especially for the main center is there, that is medulla oblongata. What ma? That is medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. So the respiration should be controlled by what ma? Medulla oblongata. Remembering one thing. So what is a normal respiration rate? Anybody can say? What is a normal respiration rate in adult? Okay. Okay. Saket Kotla, hi ma. So what is the respiration rate? Come on, tell me the respiration rate of you know very well. How much? Come on, tell me for minute. How much time we should be respiring? Anybody can say? How much? Come on, tell me. Come on, tell me, ma. So that is you know very well how much respiration. So that respiration you know very well. That is 14 to 18 times. What is the respiration? RR. RR means respiration rate. The respiration rate how much? 14 to 18 times. How much time? 14 to 18 times of respiration rate in human beings. The respiratory rate high. Good morning, Bharati. Hi, ma. So the respiratory rate which is measured by the respiratory rate which is measured by spirometer, which is called what ma? Spirometer. Very. It is also called sometimes respirometer. It is also called what ma? Respirometer. So this is a very important. Clear? So that is an important point. Okay. Next, what is how to control of respiratory mechanism? So the control of respiratory mechanism in our human being body, mainly the respiration is controlled by two factors, namely the respiration. What ma? The respiration controlled by two factors are there. Two factors. How many factors, ma? Two factors are there. What are those two factors? Number one. Okay, nervous control. Number one, what? Nervous control. Number one. Number two, you know very well. That is nervous. Number two, chemo control. Number two, what ma? Chemical. That means chemical control. This is important about. So the respiration controlled by two factors. Respiration controlled by the two factors are there. One is nervous control, and second one is chemical control. One is nervous control. Second one is chemical controls are there. So that is important. Okay, what is nervous control? Very important. Okay, so that is the nervous control. So let us come into the point. Nervous control we discussing. Nervous control we discussing about today. So what is nervous control? What is nervous control? Okay, the respiration rate. How much already told you na? The respiration rate. The respiration process should be controlled by nervous system. What ma? Nervous system. Okay, that is called nervous control. So the respiration rate which should be controlled by nervous system in specific center is there. That is called respiratory center. What ma? Respiratory center is there. Respiratory center is there. Okay, very important. So the nervous control, which is the respiratory rate to be controlled, the nervous control, the center is there. That center is called a respiratory center. What center ma? Respiratory center. Very important. These respiratory center, remembering one thing. So should be command the respiratory center which is present in the brain. Part, that is important. So in that brain, very important thing. So that is mainly already told you medulla oblongata. What ma? The respiratory center which is present in the brain, that is medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. Okay, so audible, visible. Please type S for in the chat box. Samyukta, I Sangeeta, I Samyukta, I Bharati, Sushmita. Okay, ma. Please, audible. Please, okay. Yes. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you. So, all of you must be active in chat box, ma. Okay, don't passive. You must be active, right? So that is Akila. Okay, nice. Thank you. Ankita, yes. Bharati, yes. Sushmita, yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So, what is the respiratory center? The respiratory center present in the brain, that is medulla oblongata. Actually, the respirator mainly in this brain. In this brain mainly, the respiratory centers are there. Okay, the following respiratory centers are. How many respiratory centers, ma? So that is specially for okay, mainly the respiratory centers are the respiration rate which is controlled in the brain. Respiration rate should be controlled in the brain mainly. Following parts are following respiratory centers are there. Following respiratory centers are there. That is specially for what are the? They are all they are. How many, ma? They are number 4 centers are there. How many centers, ma? 4 centers are there. Number 1, Inspiratory Center. Okay, hi Vinod. Inspiratory Center, and number 2, Expiratory Center. Number 1, Inspiratory Center. Number 2, Expiratory Center. Number 4, Pneumotoxic Center. Number 4, okay now, Pneumotoxic Center. Pneumotoxic Center. What are the ma? What are the? Come on, tell me. So in the chart box, Inspiratory Center, Expiratory Center, and Pneumotoxic Center, and Pneumotoxic Centers are there. What are the ma? Inspiratory Center number 1 is called Inspiratory Center. What ma? Inspiratory Center number 1. Number 2, number 1, Inspiratory Center. Number 2, what ma? Number 2, Expiratory Center. Expiratory Center. Expiratory Center. Okay. So next one, third one, Pneumotoxic Center. Pneumotoxic Center. Pneumotoxic Center. And Pneumotoxic Center. Pneumotoxic Center. Okay. So this is a very, very important. Pneumotoxic. So this is very, very important. Pneumotoxic Center. This is a 4 respiratory centers are there. How many respiratory centers are there? 4 respiratory centers are there. What are number 1? Inspiratory Center. Number 1. Number 2, Expiratory Center. So hi Abdul Sadiq. Okay. Good afternoon. So next Expiratory Center. Next one, Pneumotoxic. Number 1, Expiratory Center. Number 2, Expiratory Center. Number 3, Pneumotoxic Center. Number 4, Pneumotoxic Center. Pneumotoxic Centers. These are the 4 centers are there. Now I would like to say the Inspiratory Center and Expiratory Center which are presenting. Okay, which are presenting, very, very important. So Prince Vijay Mudiraj, good afternoon, ma. So Inspiratory and Expiratory Center which are present in the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. Okay. And Pneumotoxic Center and the Pneumotoxic Center, that is Pneumotoxic Center and Pneumotoxic Centers which are present in the pants. Where is Mama? In the pants. In the pants. Okay. So this is important. Okay. Inspiratory Center and Expiratory Center which are present in the medulla oblongata, and Pneumotoxic Center and Pneumotoxic Center which is present in the pants. So this is very, very important thing. Okay, now, so I would like to draw the diagram. Where is present actually. Actually, where it is present, remembering one thing. So, see, this is the brain. This is the brain part, I think. Okay. For example, 4 centers are there. How many centers, ma? 4 centers are there. How many centers are there? 4 centers are there. So 4 centers are there. So that is why this completely, this part is called This spot is called medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. Okay, in medulla oblongata, already told you na, what are those? Medulla oblongata. In medulla oblongata, remembering one thing. One is expiratory center is there. Expiratory center is there. Expiratory center and inspiratory center is there. Inspiratory center is there. Expiratory center and inspiratory center is there. And the next one, okay, next one, third one, what ma? Pneumotoxic center. Pneumotoxic center. Pneumotoxic center. Next to A-pneustic center. A-pneustic center. These are the four. Okay. Number one, Inspiratory Center. Number two, Expiratory Center. Number three, Pneumotoxic Center. Number four, A-pneustic center. So this is a very, very important thing. Okay. Now let us come to the point Inspiratory Center. Few of the Inspiratory Centers. Very, very important. Okay now. So the Inspiratory Center, what? Inspiratory Center means what? The Inspiratory Center to what happened ma? Which is to stimulate the inspirator muscles. Okay, Inspiratory Center which is responsible what ma? Inspiratory Center to be responsible for what? This Inspiratory Center to be stimulate the inspiratory muscles. Inspiratory muscles very important. The inspiratory muscles are stimulated. Okay, in that condition, we inspiring the oxygen from environment into lungs. That should be very important. Once again, I repeat, Inspiratory Center which is located in the medulla oblongata. Okay, this inspiratory center should be stimulate the inspirator muscles. Okay, the inspirator muscles are stimulated and which is responsible for the inspiration process. So the inspiration process, we are inspiring the air. The oxygen should be enters into what happened by inspirator muscles are stimulated to send the impulses to all various organs of the lungs. The lungs should be elaborated. Okay, and lungs should be elaborated. Diaphragm should be contracted. In that condition, the environmental air enters into lung. That is called inspiration should be controlled by Inspiratory Center. Okay, now let us come into the point Expiratory Center. Let us come into the point what ma? Expiratory Center. What is Expiratory Center? What is Expiratory Center? Expiratory Center also which is present in the Expiratory Center also which is present in the medulla oblongata. Remembering one thing. So this Expiratory Center which is to stimulate the expiratory muscles. Expiratory muscles. These expiratory muscles to stimulate it and what happened ma? To inhibit the Inspiratory Center. Okay na? Very, very important. Once I repeat. Okay, this Expiratory Center which is present in the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata, remembering one thing. This Expiratory Center directly which is connected. So this Expiratory Center which is connected with the lungs. The Expiratory Center which is directly connected with the lungs through the nervous is there. Through the nervous, through the nerve is there. That is called vagus nerve. What ma? So vagus nerve is there. Vagus nerve. Once I repeat, Expiratory Center which is present in the medulla oblongata. Expiratory Center which is stimulate the excitatory muscles. This Expiratory Center which is connected the directly lungs through the one nerve is there, vagus nerve. What nerve ma? Vagus nerve is present. Okay. Now this Expiratory Center to stimulate the expiratory muscles. These muscles are stimulated to do the impulses and to vagus nerve. The vagus nerve to send to the lungs. Okay. The lungs are compressed. What happened ma? The lungs are compressed. Ultimately, the Inspiratory Center also to be inhibited. Okay, inhibited. In that condition, lungs are compressed. Okay, and the air should be, the carbon dioxide should be enters into trachea, larynx, pharynx, internal nostrils, nasal cavity, external nostrils, outside. The carbon dioxide should be removed through this controlling of Expiratory Center. Expiratory Center. This is very, very important. This is a very, very important thing about Expiratory Center. This Expiratory Center to inhibit what happened ma? This expiratory center to inhibit to send the impulse to inhibitory center. That means inspiratory center to inhibit the inspiratory center. In that condition, expiration takes place. Inspiration not takes place, expiration takes place. This is called Herring-Brower reflex. Herring-Brower reflex is called what ma? This is called Herring-Brower reflex. Herring-Brower reflex means what? Herring-Brower express nothing but this expiratory center then sends the impulse, inhibitor impulse to inhibit the inspiratory center and to stop the inspiration. To stop the inspiration and okay, yes sir, okay. Video is not clear. Akila, video is not clear, ma. So, may audible, may visible. Akila, Radhika, may audible and visible. You must be type in S box, chat box. Not clear. Net is problem here. Okay. It is clear, audible, Vicky, because okay, now clear. Okay, now clear. Okay, thank you very much, Abdul. Thank you, Vikas. So once and I repeat, no problem. Once and I repeat. Okay. So the expiratory center, remembering one thing, the expiratory center, which is number 1 point, which is second expiratory center. Okay, Anusha, okay, Akila, okay, now. Okay, so what ma, very important thing here, the expiratory center, this expiratory center which is present at the location anterior side of the inspiratory center. Anterior side of the inspiratory center. Actually, it is visible. Of course, your network is problem, I think. Okay, it will become clear. Okay, no problem. So the expiratory center, which is present in the location, what happened, ma? Anterior side of the inspiratory center. The expiratory center also present in the medulla oblongata. Expiratory center to be stimulate the expiratory, to stimulate the expiratory muscles. That muscle to stimulate an impulse to send to what ma? So lungs. So through the vagus nerve. Remembering one thing. So this vagus nerve. Remembering one thing. This vagus nerve. Okay, to send the impulse to the lungs. The lungs are compressed. What happened ma? So the carbon dioxide enters into trachea and respiratory tract. Trachea, larynx, pharynx, internal nostrils, external nostrils, nasal cavity. So nasal cavity, external nostrils, which is comes outside. So this is important about what happened now. See, which is responsible by the expiratory center. And what is Herring-Brower reflex? What is Herring-Brower reflex? Nothing but during this condition, during the expiration process. One more important is that this expiratory center to what ma? To release the stimulus, that stimulus to be what happened to inhibit the inspiratory center. This stimulus to inhibit the inspiratory center. This is expiratory center. This inspiratory center, the what happened ma? By the reaction of that means inhibitory stimulus which is generated by expiratory center. This inspiratory center to stop the inspiration. To stop the inspiration and expiration should be stopped. That is called Herring-Brower reflex. Herring-Brower reflex is called, so that is very important. That is very important thing. Now, and next center is called what ma? Pneumotoxic Center. What ma? Pneumotoxic Center. This pneumotoxic center also which is present in the hands. Pneumotoxic center and ionistic centers which is present in the what happened ma? Brain. Very important thing. So hands position. This pneumotoxic center also what happened ma? To be stimulate the expiratory center. To be stimulate the expiratory center. That means expiratory center. The expiratory center to stimulate. Okay. Here indirectly the expiratory center, what ma? Inspiratory center indirectly depends upon the pneumotoxic center. Pneumotoxic center to control the this pneumotoxic center, which is present in the pons, the brain. Okay, now, so that is one of the important. So the expiratory center, which is responsible, which is controlled by pneumotoxic center. So the expiratory center controlled by the pneumotoxic center, inspiratory center controlled by the expiratory centers, the inspiratory and expiratory center. Inspiratory and expiratory center should controlled by the pneumotoxic center. Pneumotoxic center, very important. Okay, now MEDDULLA Center, MEDDULLA Center, which is called very important, which is responsible of MEDDULLA Center, which is responsible for this MEDDULLA Center, which is responsible for what happened, which is switch off of inspiration, switch off of, that means the termination of inspiration, which is responsible by what happened, so this MEDDULLA Center. MEDDULLA Center is called, it is a switch off of termination of inspiration. Switch off of termination of inspiration is called very important. That is responsible by the MEDDULLA Center. So this is remembering one thing. So what are the important points, Okay. So nervous control. Once again, quickly review. Nervous controls are mainly. These nervous centers are there, respiratory centers are there. Respiratory centers, 4 respiratory centers are there. Mainly 3. Actually, 3 are there. Okay. Actually, we should consider 3, but it is not only switch off. It is responsible for the switch off. What are the 3 respiratory centers? Are there mainly? One is Inspiratory Center, second one is Expiratory Center, and third one is Pneumotoxic Center. Inspiratory Center, which is present in the medulla oblongata, which is to stimulate the inspiratory muscles. It stimulate the inspiratory muscles. Okay, now so it is the inspiratory muscles to stimulate the inspiration of the process. And the expiratory center, this expiratory center, which is present in the medulla oblongata, this expiratory center directly connected with the lungs through the vagus nerve. Clear? So these expiratory centers should be activated by the pneumotoxic center, stimulated by the pneumotoxic center. Okay, this expiratory center to be stimulate the expiratory muscles, and the stimulate the release the stimulus or gas impulses reach to lungs. The lungs are compressed. Expiration start. In that condition, whether these stimuli are generated by the expiratory center to reach to inspiratory center, the inspiratory center to inhibit it and to stop the inspiration. So that is called Herring-Blower reflex. That is called Herring-Blower reflex. Is called. This is a nervous control part. Now, next one. What are the important? Very important. Chemical control respiration. What is my second one? Second one, chemical control. What ma? Next one, what would a chemical control? What is a chemical control process? What is a what does it mean? So chemical control. The respiration control. The respiration should be controlled by the chemicals. The respiration rate should be controlled by the chemical. That is called what ma? Chemical control. What is the chemical control here involving? So very important thing. So mainly what are the chemicals here? Number 1 CO2, number 2 oxygen, number 3 pH. These are all the chemical substances which are responsible for the controlling of the respiratory rate. Very important. What does it mean? Very important thing. If what happened? Carbon dioxide is increased. The carbon dioxide is increased. What happened? Carbon dioxide concentration should be increased. What happened? Respiratory rate also increased. Carbon dioxide concentration should be increased. Respiratory rate also increased. Okay. If the carbon dioxide concentration is decreased, what happened? Respiratory rate should be decreased. This is very important. Okay, ultimately, if the carbon dioxide increased, respiratory rate also increased. In that means what? If oxygen should be decreased, respiratory rate also increased. Oxygen should be decreased, respiratory rate also increased. That means what happened? Oxygen level, oxygen concentration is indirectly proportional. That That means what indirectly proportional to respiratory rate. For example, if the oxygen level is lower, then respiratory rate will increase because of in the tissue carbon dioxide level increases. Very very important. Okay, now that is one of the important. Once I repeat, if the carbon dioxide is raised, carbon dioxide level is increased, respiratory rate also increased. Okay, in that condition, oxygen level should be decreased. The oxygen concentration should be decreased. Respiratory rate also increased. Okay, so here very important thing: carbon dioxide decreased. Carbon dioxide level decreased. Ultimately, what happened? Oxygen level increased. If the oxygen level increased, carbon dioxide decreased, but the respiratory rate should be decreased. Okay, that is very very important. Is it clear? Is it clear? You must be type in H box. You must be type S box. Okay, so here once I repeat. Okay, Ankita S. All of you must be respond, please. You must be respond. You must be respond, please. Okay, okay, yes, clear. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Abdul, Sushmita, Akila. Okay, okay. Okay, na? So this is a chemical controlling mechanism. Remembering one thing, ma'am. That's why in the pandemic situation, for example, in your room, what happened, ma? In your room, for example, carbon dioxide level is increased. Carbon dioxide level is increased in a closed chamber. What happened? There is no oxygen. That's why you are going to like that because of there is no oxygen. That means oxygen concentration is lower, carbon dioxide is higher. In that condition, what happened? Respiratory rate also like that. The respiration rate also to be increased. Respiratory rate also to be increased. Remembering one thing. For example, in the natural environment like forest, like any other tree, you are standing in the what happened? So, for example, one tree is there. What happened? In the tree, in the environment, natural air is present. Rich amount of the oxygen is there. The oxygen level is increased, carbon dioxide level is lower. Okay, oxygen level is increased, carbon dioxide concentration is lower. Okay, in that condition, what happened? So, normal breathing, like that. So takes place. That is a mechanism is there. That should be controlling of respiratory rate of chemical control. So once I repeat, remembering one thing. So good afternoon, Sangeeta. You must too late, ma'am. Right? So once I repeat, chemical control. This chemical control, what happened, ma'am? Carbon dioxide concentration increase. Okay, ultimately oxygen level is decreased. In that condition, respiratory rate also increase. Okay, Rajita, hi, you are too late, ma. Okay, no problem, right? Now, what happened, ma? If it is a carbon dioxide level, if it is carbon dioxide decreased, ultimately oxygen should be increased. Oxygen concentration should be increased. So, in that condition, respiratory rate also decreased. So, that's why here key role of carbon dioxide, oxygen level. Very, very important. Remembering one thing. Now, next one, ma. Here, what happened if it is number one? Important. When pH is lowered. What happened, ma? When pH is lowered. When pH is lowered, the rate of respiration is increased. Okay, the respirator rate should be increased. Very, very important here. The pH is lowered. The pH is lowered, the respiratory rate also increased. Respiratory rate also should be increased. When the pH is higher, when the pH is high, okay, what happened, ma'am? The respirator should be decreased. Okay, so very, very important. In which condition pH is lower? In which condition pH is lower? But O2 should be lower, carbon dioxide should be higher. When the carbon dioxide should be higher in the blood, the carbon dioxide should be higher in the blood. Okay, O2 level is there, pH is lower, respiratory rate should be increased. Okay, so the pH is high, respiratory rate should be decreased. So that is main important about chemical control of respiratory rate, control of respiration. This is very, very important, ma'am. Okay, so and very important thing, and one more important thing is there, and temperature also. The temperature also, temperature control, that is another topic. The temperature control, what is temperature control? Nothing but if the temperature, environmental temperature is high, respiratory rate also, the temperature is directly proportional to, temperature is directly proportional to the respiratory rate. Respiratory rate increase, what happened, ma'am? What happened? Respiratory rate, the temperature rise, respiratory rate increase. Okay, carbon dioxide, remember one, carbon dioxide level is directly proportional to respiratory rate. Carbon dioxide level is raised, respiratory rate also to be raised. So oxygen is indirectly proportional to, oxygen is indirectly proportional to what happened, ma'am? So that means respiratory rate. If the oxygen level is increased, respiratory rate should be decreased. If the oxygen level decreased, respiratory rate to be increased. That is important. That is oxygen is the oxygen is indirectly proportional. Remember one thing, CO2 directly proportional to respiratory rate. These are the very, very important. CO2 directly proportional to respiratory rate. Okay. Next, what I mean, O2 indirectly proportional to respiratory rate. Indirectly proportional to respiratory rate. Okay, now if the O2 raised, what are respiratory rate to be decreased. If the respiratory to be raised, what happened, ma'am? So O2 rate to be decreased. Right? Next, pH. pH is lowered. pH is lowered. What happened, ma'am? Respiratory to be increased. Okay, pH is indirectly proportional to respiratory rate. pH is lower, respiratory rate would increase. pH is higher, respiratory rate would be decreased. So this is a fundamental principles about chemical control. Okay, now so this is a wonderful topic. So sometimes you'll asking a long question. What is control of respiration? You must be describe the controlling of respiratory rate. Controlling of respiratory rate, very important thing. Okay. Okay, now I hope understand all of you. This is the fantastic topic, the controlling respiration. What is controlling? Mainly, the respiratory center is present in the medulla oblongata. The respiration by two process. One is nervous control, chemical control. So nervous control should be controlled by three centers are there, mainly, but actively three centers are there: Inspiratory Center, Expiratory Centers, and Pneumotoxic Center, ENistic centers are there. Inspiratory and Expiratory Center, which are present in the medulla oblongata. These medulla oblongata should control the inspiration and expiration. And Expiratory Center, which is present in the anterior side of the Inspiratory Center, and Pneumotoxic Center, which is present in the anterior side of the Expiratory Center. So these Expiratory Center controlled by the Pneumotoxic Center. Inspiratory Center should be controlled by the Expiratory Center. The Expiratory Center directly connected with the lungs through the vagus nerve. Totally, these are the brevis, that means heavy brewer count reflex, and only ENistic center, which is present in the termination of inspiration, that should be, which is responsible for the switch off. Only switch off, that is called, that means ENistic center. This is will asking from this for a NEET level, for CSIR-NET level, for entrance level, remembering one thing. So we'll asking this type of questions, right? So which center, in which of the part are mainly to control the respiratory rate? That is what happened, medulla oblongata and pons. Okay, so what are the relation between the carbon dioxide and respiratory rate? What are the relation between the oxygen and the respiratory rate? What are the relation between the so pH and respiratory rate? You must be remembering that one. So very, very important. So this is the end of our session. Thank you very much. Okay, so for all, thank you to one and all. So this is a fantastic session. Today we are done, completed. So many people are attended. Like thank you Rajita and Abdul, Rajita, Sangeeta, Shiva, Sushmita, okay, Akila. Thank you very much, all of my dear legendary students. And you must be subscribed. Okay, you must be subscribe our channel to strengthen our channel. You must be seeing YouTube videos and write the notes. Okay, and like it, share it, comment it, and to your friends, share to your friends. Okay, thank you, sir, for your valuable class. Abdul Sadiki, thank you very much, ma. Thank you, wonderful for your coming this live class. Thank you, Abdullah Sadiki. Thank you, Rajita. Thank you, Rajita. Thank you very much. Once and I repeat, a request to all, please subscribe, do subscribe, share it, like it, and comment it, and okay, strengthen our channel. Thank you very much. This is Krishna, HOD of Zoology, signing out. Thank you, Ma Sangita. Thank you very much.